I had a full day of errands and things. My house is a disaster. Things to get done today for two very big, exciting pieces of news I want to share with you. And so my plan was to like vlog and share those things with you as I ran these errands that had to do with the things. And then my day kind of went crazy. I did get some vlog footage and I'll try and sprinkle it throughout here, but let me just tell you, I am not a good vlogger. Like, I forget that I'm doing it. I forget what's supposed to go in a vlog. Sometimes I talk to the camera for way too long. Like, I'm just not a good vlogger. I don't know what it is. But since my day kind of went a little like off the beaten path, I'm gonna vlog style tell you about two big pieces of news going on over here at the Hey Jessica HQ. Both I think you'll care about. Why is that closet door open? I was just looking for something to set my tripod on because holding it is annoying, but it's short. So if I just set it down on my desk, it's like down here. This is, again, why vlogging is hard for me. First thing this morning, I went out to my store. But to tell you the first bit of news, I did get some good vlog footage this morning that explained what I was doing and explains good, cool, awesome news part one. So I'm gonna roll that now. Well, if this lighting isn't spectacular, I don't know what is. We're gonna have a car chat today because I need to tell you about two really exciting things that I haven't shared here on the channel, but I also have a day full of running errands for those two very exciting things. So you're just gonna have to come along with me. I thought it would be fun to bring you along on the ride for all the errands I have to do, but you know, chat about my exciting things along the way. Okay, I changed up my angle a little bit to try and help with the lighting, but I don't think it's gonna help anything, to be honest, so we'll see. Plus, I gotta, you know, not obstruct my windshield, which is the main goal when you're vlogging and driving. Okay, so right now I am on my way to my store. And if you remember, I did a YouTube video about it, but essentially I decided to turn my studio into a retail store. So months and months ago, back in December of last year, I got a studio space that in my head was going to be magically amazing. And it was beautiful and we did so much work on it, but it was just, it's right in my downtown area and very, very, very loud. Between the upstairs neighbors that like live above it and also the street noise. So I decided, you know what, I have a lease on this building. So like I explained in that video, I decided, well, I have a lease on this building. Why not, you know, do something with it that's going to actually do really well in this area, because I had a lease on a building in my downtown area and that's hard to get. So like floor level, walkable, all the things. So I flipped it into a retail store. And the way that I built this retail store, you know, I really went back and forth. Like, do I like go buy thousands of dollars worth of inventory and stock it full and it be like all my retail store? Or do I do like vendor booth space rentals? And that's what I kept coming back to because that's pretty popular in my area. We already had a couple of stores that do that, and the people who rent booths in these stores always are looking for more. And so it really just seemed like the perfect solution because one, it was going to make use of this building I was paying the lease on anyway. Two, it was going to be able to provide these local business owners with, you know, another place to sell their stuff. And three, it was going to be way less overhead for me to get started up, so I could start it quicker. So I had this idea in June, and of course, just like anywhere else during the summer, our tourist market skyrockets. So we have a ton of visitors in the summer. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get this open within the next 30 days because I really want to open in, you know, in the summer. And I did, and filled the space with 24 vendors. It's completely full. It was completely full when we opened. There might be space for like one or two more vendors, but I haven't opened that up yet. It would be very small spaces if they were. That's not the point. The point is, I really wanted to make sure that it was not a ton of stress on me, because I already have so much going on in my own business, right? Like in this business. And to open a retail store, I knew that the opening would be stressful, but I didn't want the running of the retail store to be stressful. And so I knew there would be things that happened because we're dealing with vendors, we're dealing with customers, we're dealing with employees, because I completely staffed it because I don't have time to work in it, nor do I want to. And the whole time that I was building it, one of the other reasons I kind of went with the vendor model was it would be a really easy business to sell, because it would be all set up for somebody, nothing would have to change. They're already making a set amount of money based on what I charge for the vendors to be in there, per square foot and all of that stuff. And so as I was like getting everything started, you know, I kept it in the back of my mind that I would eventually sell the store, because again, it's not like my purpose in life by any means to own this store. And I know that there's someone out there who would love to own it, you know, especially the vendors who, you know, love like doing that type of thing. Retail is not my like preferred method of business by any means, just because there's more overhead, there's more stuff. I don't know, I like digital businesses. But anyway, so I kept it in the back of my head that I would want to sell it like the whole time. And so we opened in July, and honestly, it's not been hard for me to deal with at all. I hired my sister to help like facilitate the operation of like the staff and stuff. So she was doing like staffing, and if they had questions, and she would bring it to me if, you know, it really needed to be brought to me, but otherwise she was just handling it on her own. So I took care of that, and then I really like laid down a lot of rules with the vendors. And my number one rule was like, you create drama with me and you're out. Like, I will not deal with it. There's definitely been drama, so that's been fun. But I feel like that's kind of to be expected with 24 women in a space. Some of the vendors are not women, but you know what I'm saying. We opened in July. It's been going great. And I had a couple of inquiries about purchasing the building, or not the building, I'm sorry, I don't own the building. So purchasing the store and the business. And I realized that like that's definitely what I wanted to do, was sell it and let somebody who really would love to run this type of business run it. And so that's what I did. I sold the store. So I opened it in July. Like our grand opening weekend was 4th of July weekend. Opened it in July, and then it is, when I'm filming this, it's the end of August. So the new owners take over on September 1st. So I'm actually going to the store right now to get the deposit, the cash deposit, to take to the bank, because I have to go meet the new owner at the bank to switch all of the, you know, financial stuff around. So that is exciting thing number one. So yay, I'm selling my store. How exciting is that? It's been fun, and it's also been a cool learning experience and something that I've enjoyed getting to learn more about. But after I filmed that footage, that's kind of when the day went blah, blah, blah. Like, I had to be on the phone for my entire drive to my next place, and it was kind of a long drive because one of our employees at the store has been exposed to COVID, can't work. Also, I was around that person a few days ago, thankfully not close enough to where I need to be quarantined, but just a whole lot of stuff going on. So when I tried to get footage for the next piece of news and excitingness, it just kind of flopped. And I was looking back at that footage and like, no, it's just not gonna happen. I'm not gonna roll that footage, because like, I was frazzled. I still am a little bit, but I was super frazzled at that point, and I just wasn't my best self. There's a little bit of a mess back here behind me, but I found something to prop my phone up on in the kitchen, so Let's just go with that. So second errand I had to run today had to do with the second piece of awesome news. And that is that I had to go to the Verizon store, which is a county over from me, which is a whole nother conversation. So the cell phone provider here in my local area is like a small town cell phone provider, and they will not let other conglomerates come in because they know they'll be out of business, you know? So I use Verizon because I had a phone on my small town cell phone provider before, and when I would travel it was a disaster because half the time the data didn't work and all the things. So I switched to Verizon years ago because it still works here, it's just that it's a different provider. Well, in order to do anything with my phone, or like if I need to activate a new phone or update my carrier settings or really anything like that, I have to drive over to the county over where I'm in network because I'm out of network here at my house. So on my list today was to drive over to the Verizon store and set up my old iPhone, my iPhone XS or whatever it was before I had my 12 Pro Max that I have now, for my husband. And that is because for the last 13 years, he's had a company provided phone, and he is soon to no longer have a company to provide him with a phone. I have mentioned this in a few other places, so if you follow me on Instagram or on my podcast, you probably already know this, but I haven't shared it here on YouTube. And that is that my husband has officially quit his job. Now, he actually does work until the end of September, because when he quit, he put in a really long notice because the logistics of him quitting are a little more than like, hey, you have 2 weeks, bye. So we've actually known he was leaving his job at the end of September since June, but I was kind of holding off to say anything and like letting it get a little closer. But he's gonna be working for himself. He's got several irons in the fire there on like what that looks like. He has a ton of construction experience on like the management and consulting side. He has a bachelor's degree in construction management, and he has 13 years of experience as a building inspector for our county. And then also, you know, just tons of other experience. And so he's going to be doing some like consulting and things like that, along with some other things. But he is officially about to be self-employed. Honestly, I'm not sure I ever thought we would get here, even though I've wanted it for years. Now that it's here, it's a little scary. But I've wanted it for years because like pre-COVID, I was traveling quite a bit. I was speaking at conferences a lot, and you know, I have 2 kids, and it was always this like dance of like, okay, well, can you take off this day and get the kids from school? And can you take off that day and get the kids from school? And like what grandparent can help here? And like, can somebody get them and maybe bring them to you at work? And all of these kind of semantics and moving pieces that went along with me traveling. A few years ago, I was like, you just need to quit because it would make things a lot easier when I travel. Y'all could go with me, or, you know, there would at least be somebody, like I wouldn't have to plan quite as much to travel because you've got the kids, you know? But to be 100% honest, when I started mentioning it, he wasn't ready. My husband is for sure someone who really likes the security and the safety net of a corporate job and a paycheck, you know? And so he was never at the point where he was like, yeah, I want to quit my job. He loves his job. He still loves his job. A few years ago, a little over a year ago maybe, he really started to have a change of heart and really started wanting to lean more into the entrepreneurship side. I'm sure you've heard me say it before because I've said it a few times on this channel, but I live on a farm. We live on a farm, and he farms. But it was to the point where he wanted to grow the farm, but in order to grow the farm, he needed more time to be able to work on the farm, and he didn't have more time to work on the farm because he has a full-time job. And so it started becoming one of those things where he was just feeling more and more the nudge to, you know, jump off the safety boat and into the rough waters of entrepreneurship. Yeah, we just made the decision like a few months ago. So it's super exciting. It's a little scary, but it's super exciting. I personally think it's better off in the long run, you know, like we'll be better off in the long run for it. Literally everybody in our real lives think we're crazy. I don't know. I'm just excited. I actually want to bring him on a video once he has officially quit and has the time to sit down and film with me and talk to him about that decision, like what it took to get him to that point as far as like security and safety net versus not, and being the person who likes that and all the things, because I feel like that's something that y'all would like. So if you would like for me to interview him on the podcast and on the YouTube channel, either one, let me know in the comments below, because y'all, if you think I talk Southern, you should hear my husband. But anyway, I got the cell phone situated. It was not quite as cut and dry or as easy as it should have been, and there's still things to work out with it, because again, it's just like not easy to deal with stuff like that. But yeah, a full day of errands today on a random Thursday for 2 big pieces of exciting news. I'm really pumped about both. I'm excited that someone is going to take the store and run with it, someone that has more time to focus on growing the store and really like making it what it could be. And I'm also excited to be done with it, because I just don't have the time to deal with that. But I'm also really excited to have my husband quitting his job and doing what he wants to do, because I preach all the time here on this channel, especially on Instagram. Do what you love what you do. And I truly do want that for everybody. And I also understand that quitting security and having security is worth a lot, and that not everybody can just step away from their secure job immediately. But it's really interesting, because it's like, to me, entrepreneurs are happier in general. I mean, yes, I'm sure there's cases where that's not true, but flexibility and freedom, I think that really like leans into happiness. And it makes me sad, honestly it makes me sad that there are people who go to a job every day that they hate, and that there are people who will never, like, don't think there's another option. And so if I can do anything, if I can encourage anybody to make those big leaps, and by big leaps, I mean calculated risks. I don't want anybody watching this and being like, well, Jessica told me to quit my job, I don't have no money. You know, calculated risks to get you to a point where you are happier. I have to do that. Like, I have to mention that, you know? I just feel like I have to, down in my bones. So if you're watching this and that's you, I don't know, maybe you just needed that encouragement today. Corporate America isn't all there is, and you can absolutely make more money, be happier, have more freedom, insert anything else here as an entrepreneur. It's funny because in last week's video, I think, I mentioned that I was gonna be hiring out my editing, and what we ended up deciding to do was to do the editing in-house. And because Laura, my full-time assistant right now, she has the skills to edit videos. And it's just a matter of like learning my style. Like that's really all it is. But in adding video editing to her plate, I knew that I was gonna have to take something off of her plate, because I want to be able to keep my employees happy as much as I possibly can. You know, like, it's like, I have that control. I can do that. You know, I can make sure they're not overworked and they're not feeling burnt out and all the things. And so we decided to hire a customer service person to take the customer service off of her so she could lean into video editing. And when I posted the job, somebody in my real life was like, what are you hiring for now? And I was like, customer service. And they were like, well, doesn't she do that? And I'm like, oh yeah, but we're adding a few things to her plate, so I need to take a few things off. And this person works in corporate, and they were like, that must be nice. Like, for your boss to recognize that things need to come off the plate if you're gonna add things. And it made me sad. Like, it really did, because I feel like that happens so much. I know it did to me when I was in corporate, is people will add, and never even recognize that they've added all this crap on your plate and you're overwhelmed and a crazy person, you know? So anyway, that's my big news, 2 big pieces of news. I'll be back with a regular video next week, a regular like sit down talking head video next week. I'd love for you to chat me up in the comments and let me know what you'd like to see here on this channel, what you'd like to see more of. Do you want that video of my husband talking about his decision to quit? What do you want to see more of here? I'd love to help you also be able to do the things that let you live a life you love while also making more money and working less. Like, that's my goal in life, is to help you work less, live more, and make more money. So I'd love to hear what would help you do that down in the comments below. And I'll end this vlog style video with a clip of me almost getting rear-ended pulling out of the bank today. Sure enough, I was at the wrong one. Now I'm gonna head across town to the other one, and I'm backing into the street. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't see him. Oh, I'm gonna get hit.